Did you get caught self-loving by your mom?
Awkward. It is awkward.
Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupider.
It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600-KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Yes. Rock 2.1. Time for another edition of your F My Life. These are unfortunate situations. Email to me at beefvegan@kfma.com. Subject line FML. But of course, if you have an F My Life you care to share on the air, you can give us a call 600-KFMA. That's 600-5362. And Weirdo, Rico, and I will weigh in on your F My Life. If we agree your life is that, we'll hook you up with a gift certificate to Tucson Games and Gadgets, located at Park Place Mall, Tucson Mall, or the Outlet Mall. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. First email sent to me by Ryan. Ryan said, the other day I decided to be healthy and go for a run. I broke my ankle. F My Life. What do you say, Rico?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Easy, yes.
Yeah. Super easy, yes. Because of course that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and now you're gonna be unhealtty as you recover. Slowly,
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, just work on the upper body, you'll be all right.
Yeah, I guess you could do like one-legged push-ups, I guess. Is that what it's called?
Mhm.
Anyways, F your life for sure. All right, next F My Life email sent to me by Pete. Pete said, this weekend I found out the hard way that there's no good girlfriend-boyfriend conversation that ever started with, suppose I slept with your best friend.
Whoa.
Yes. So F My Life, weirdo, what do you say?
Yeah. Suppose I slept with your best friend. No, she slept with your best friend.
Well, no, he obviously knows that. That's why he said it in F My Life. He found out the hard way that there's no good start to that conversation. What do you say, Rico?
F my life for the streets.
For real. Because that's the worst scenario. And it happens, especially when you're younger, because there's a lot of homie hoppers.
Mhm.
This is normally a phenomenon that happens from the female side going to the male side. Homie hopping, right? The girl will date within the crew, go
Right.
from one person to the next. And you're nodding in agreement. Were you ever a homie hopper?
I was not.
That's good.
No, but
did
I
you know
watched.
of homie hoppers?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, dude. They come in, they infiltrate a friend group, and then they destroy it, one
Mhm.
bang at a time. It sounds like you dated a homie hopper, Pete, and I'm sorry, but it is a life lesson that we all kind of go through, especially growing up in Arizona.
Yeah, no, I was like the token female friend with all like the skater boys and everything, and I would watch the homie hoppers come in. I'm like, y'all are gonna get an STI. Just watch, and I would just sit back and watch these idiots fight over her. And I'm like, she's gonna be gone next week, guys. Like, chill.
Yeah, she'll be on to another crew.
Exactly.
Whatever, Averill.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
It's a weird thing that it definitely is a cliche at this point.
Yes.
So F your life, Pete. And next F My Life sent to me by Elsie. Elsie said, I'm 8 months pregnant, and the father says that he won't come to any more appointments. The baby shower, or my father said that he won't come to any of my more appointments, the baby shower, even birth, unless his new girlfriend. See, I read this all wrong. I'll start over.
Start
Okay.
over.
Yes. All right, I'm 8 months pregnant. The father says that he won't come to any more appointments, the baby shower, or even the birth unless his new girlfriend is allowed to be in the room when I deliver. I said, absolutely not. So he told me to never call him again and blocked me. They've been together for 2 months.
Wow.
All right, so yes. Initially, I read this and I thought it was her father that she was referring to. But no, it's the father of the baby
It's the
that
baby
she's
daddy.
pregnant with, the baby daddy, who's already dating someone else, 2 months in a relationship, and wants that new girlfriend to be in the room while you give birth. Like, what is
That's
wrong
a very
with this
strange
dude?
fetish.
This is insane.
This is absolutely bananas.
The easiest F My Life I've ever come across, Elsie. I'm so sorry about
Right.
this. Definitely an F My Life.
Right.
What the actual F, bro?
Right. And but you're gonna have a beautiful baby and you're gonna be just fine.
I don't know. How
And it
beautiful is a
sounds-
baby? Is she
Yeah,
had
maybe it's an
like
ugly baby.
a baby with this
It
dude?
sounds like he's a douche and you've avoided, that tragedy.
I don't know. And it's so weird for the girlfriend of 2 months to want to be in that room.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like, I want to be there and
Oh my
witness
god,
this.
what if she's like the psycho new girlfriend that's like, oh, this is gonna be my baby, and like gonna try to steal it or something?
Or what if
Yeah.
she's actually just an OBGYN or something? Maybe she's just trying to do med studies. Who knows? We're jumping
Okay.
to conclusions here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. She was there just to give like a consultant tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know.
To make sure
She's a
everything goes
midwife.
smoothly. Yeah. For sure. There in
Yeah, F
support.
my life.
Yeah, totally F my life.
Yeah.
The most F my life that I've recalled of recent memory, Elsie. All right, next F my life said to be by Crystal, which we're just going to say automatically Big Baby.
Okay.
How do you follow that up? I've been trying to adopt a cat with little success since my last one died. My other cat, who I've grown attached to him when she realized he was dying, has been lazier and more prone to seeking attention than before he passed away. I now know that cats can suffer from depression, and I feel bad now.
Oh.
Yeah, that's sad, but Big Baby. You don't have your baby's dad trying to bring in a girl while you deliver the baby.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just...
Yeah, okay.
All right.
I guess in comparison.
All
All
right,
perspective.
final F my life of the day, sent to me by Mick. Mick said, Friday, my wife broke the TV during an argument with her mother. But it's my fault because I put the TV in such a stupid place. So I should pay for a new one. Anyone know any good divorce lawyers?
Jeez.
I'm so done with her BS and her crazy family of a-holes.
The TV that broke the camel's back, huh? Dang.
Yeah, F my life for Mick.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of you. Same time. We all agree.
Sorry, it's his fault because he put
This is your fault.
Such a
You did
stupid-
this. Yeah. You what? Right above the cable jack
Oh my
against the
God.
wall? Yeah.
I
Terrible
love
place.
irrational females. It's the best.
Terrible. So
Very entertaining.
keep those F My Life emails coming, beefy@kfma.com. We're going to hit the reset. Coming up the rest of this hour, we're going to be speaking with actor-comedian TJ Miller. You know him from Silicon Valley and Deadpool. He's currently on a comedic tour, doing his stand-up, and he also has a new comedy special that's coming out. So TJ Miller coming up next on Beef Vegan Presents, so don't go away. Buddy, let's get you in here on the stream.
Let's get beef vegan on it.
Let's get TJ Miller in the building, so to speak. Oh, I'm digging that facial hair, bro.
Hell yeah.
Look at that.
What do
dude.
you call that? That's amazing.
It's the old barkeep, the 1840s barkeep.
Sarsaparilla.
When the saloon doors open, I'm sort of cleaning one of my glasses, and I go, ooh. That's it. That's all I do in the movie.
You're bringing it back,
Amazing.
dude. You're bringing it back. I love that, dude. Always innovating, and in one way or another. So
You got to do it. And right, I mean, I've got my stand-up comedy album. I have my own line of peanut butter, and now I have facial hair that irritates my wife. So I think I'm doing fine. Honestly,
Doing it
though,
right.
in our vows, this is real. In our vows, she vowed to love me no matter what my facial hair was. So that's pretty
Nice.
funny. So
Well,
there you go.
you come off like you grew a beard when you were like 14. And now, I mean, I don't know, but did you grow facial hair early?
No, you know what? I don't think anybody's ever asked me that, but I think, let's see. No, not really, but I have a very full beard, so I can do a lot with it. And I did the show Silicon Valley where I had something kind of like this, but it was a little bit different. And so I've always been able to mess around with the facial hair. But my wife, I had facial hair for so long. My wife likes it. Kate, that's my wife. Kate is just about it with this clean shaven face. As soon as I did that after what I had to do. But the next thing I'm doing, I'm going to play Santa Claus. So when that starts to come together, then like right before we shoot, I'm going to
Actually grow out a real beard? Wow. All right. So
No
nice.
CGI.
Let me introduce you to my friends real quick, TJ. This is Rico and Weirdo.
Okay, I like that.
Yes.
Very
and-
radio.
Yeah, and we're going to be live on the air here in 30 seconds because right now we're doing the stream.
You gotta
And so,
talk vegan.
yeah, you got to talk contradictions. And I've talked with you before. I was introduced with Rick Bronson, House Comedy in Phoenix and all that stuff. So it's good to catch up with you again. And I'm excited about you just constantly working, doing a stand-up tour. And we're going to talk about that, of course, the comedy special, and then whatever else you want to talk about.
I mean, we got to talk about this peanut butter situation for sure.
Yeah, we do. Well, then let's talk about this peanut butter situation. We got TJ Miller live with us. You know him from shows like Silicon Valley, or even movies like the Deadpool franchise. He is currently doing his stand-up comedy tour, and also has a comedy special that he's dropping. And also now he's the new Mr. Peanut. He has his own.
I am the new Mr. Peanut. I like it. I've got a monocle at home.
Yeah. Now you have
a and a cane.
Are you?
Yes.
You really now? Your comedy album is called Smooth Peanut Butter. So to promote this, you actually started a peanut butter company.
No, vice versa.
Oh, wait a second. You started. Said.
Let that blow your beefy vegan mind, okay?
So you started selling peanut butter, and then you made a comedy album and decided to name it after the peanut butter that you're selling.
Hold on, I lost you guys. Golly, this is the problem with
Big peanut butter stuff.
I can still hear you though, so hopefully you can still hear.
There you go. No, okay. So it's it was a thing where I had a hot sauce. I do have a line of hot sauce. And and so I kind of said to myself, because the hot sauce was doing so well, and the story behind that was I used to be the voice of the Mucinex booger. You know, piece of stuff. I don't know why that's funny. Okay, a lot of people get sick, and I helped a lot of people who were sick.
Yes, you did.
Okay,
you saved lives.
Weirdo.
I'm sorry.
And so I was recording in the middle of nowhere because you can record from anywhere. I was visiting my mother-in-law in Indiana, and I go to this recording studio. It's in this guy's barn, which I thought was pretty like out there, you know. And I do the record. I come out, and he goes, "That was really funny." I go, "Oh, thank you." He goes, "You know, those things really aren't ever funny. That was really funny." I said, "Oh, thanks." And he goes, "You want to see my pepper patch?" And I had never been asked that by a man, but I'm a progressive. I lived in California for a while, and so I actually I found out he made his own hot sauce, grew the peppers, everything. And so a year later, we became friends. He would send me test batches. And about a year later, he said, "Well, would you like to collaborate on a hot sauce?" And I said, "Yeah, I would love that." And so we made a line of hot sauces: Chipotle, Extreme Gangster Heat, which is sort of Tabasco done right. I think Weirdo would be with that. And then one that's called, am I allowed to cuss on this program or no?
No, we're currently on the air, but you can throw out one curse word. I'll hit the dump.
Hey, it's KFMA on Tucson. No cusses, just short buses. Oh, let's see. Okay, so this one, you know what? I'll bleep myself out, okay?
Okay.
It's called Intense Ghost Pepper Type. And
nice.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's, you know what? Let's dump it. Ready?
Yeah, I say, yeah.
Fucking intense ghost pepper type shit hot sauce.
Oh,
and that's for the pepperheads. Boom.
Boom.
I'm learning now. And so it was I don't know, it just worked. People loved it. And the ghost pepper one, it's great flavor, still very, very hot.
Right.
And so, well, I also love peanut butter. Maybe I should look into making peanut butter. And I found somebody who, it was really, really interesting. I found somebody also in Indiana. I don't know how, but his family was making peanut butter because their daughters did a school project starting a small business, and it was a peanut butter company. And so I collaborated with them, and now I have my own line of peanut butter. It's the best, Rico. It's the best you'll ever have. Okay.
He likes his protein. If you can't tell, the dude works out. No,
he loves his protein. Look at that goatee. One day he'll grow a full beard, Rico.
One day, Dad. One day.
Imagine?
Yeah,
I have imagined.
Now, before you roll out your own peanut butter brand, do you have to go through a bunch of different taste tests? Do you have a certain standard that you want before you roll it out, or was it just the peanut butter already great and you're like, oh yeah, this is already good to go? Tastes like all the other peanut butter I ever tasted.
So we have 3 flavors. Dark chocolate coconut, that's for the ladies. Weird.
Hell yeah.
And that has almonds in it. And then we have cherry chocolate with real dried cherries, milk chocolate, and honey roasted peanuts.
Oh, nice.
And then we have toffee crispy, my favorite, with toffee, milk chocolate, and Rice Krispies. So it's just different than anything else that there's ever been. And
do you even have
about
this?
Yeah.
What?
Do you even have peanuts in your peanut butter? You did all the ingredients you named are delicious, but it doesn't sound like peanut butter at all.
Well, I have some peanut butter in it, but no. You know what? And you're the first person to mention it, and now I'm getting pretty self-conscious about the peanut content. Let me put it this way. Okay. Preferment. Let me put it this way. Let me put it this way, Piffy. Okay. So it has enough peanuts that it would kill you if you had a peanut allergy. So I think it's just
that's
enough.
good.
There we go.
Just
That
enough.
is good to know.
But it's almost a dessert peanut butter. And yeah, I worked with the company to kind of get get things in the right order, the right sort of proportion. And for me, it was always a dream to do a peanut butter that would be bananas, honey, and milk chocolate peanut butter. And I was so excited about that. But then John Weed said, well, unfortunately, we tried that, but the bananas oxidize. They kind of go bad.
Oh.
Yeah. And with, the oil, and it just didn't work. It just wasn't the deal. And so that was really, honestly, really upsetting.
Heartbreaking.
And then I said, it was heartbreaking, Fiffy. And I got to tell you, Piffer, the man, has got to understand with those sweet, beefy vegan lips that I don't stop when somebody says no. And I said, well, what if we did banana chips, like dried banana chips?
Yeah, like dehydrated. Yeah.
And I'll never forget his response, which was, when's the last time you had banana chips? And I said, I don't know. I mean, it's been a little while, but like within the last couple of years, a year or so. And he goes, did they taste like bananas? And I went, no, I guess they don't really taste like bananas. And then he just looked at me like, that's why I'm in charge of making the peanut butter. But you're some ding dong with weird facial hair.
We're talking with comedian TJ Miller here.
Baby on the Bigs, baby.
We're going to continue this conversation on the podcast broadcast, which you will be able to watch as well. And we'll have more with TJ, including where you can see him live and how you can check his new album, Smooth Peanut Butter, out. So you stick around. It's coming up next.
And he's going to tell you about how he used to be vegan.
It's Rock 2.1. Beefing it.
The Miller lore.
And I'm like, oh shit, you do know my last name. Like, you seen that email. You see the
I know he dead named you, bro.
Yeah, dead named me, and
Whoa.
on all the ways that people would mispronounce the name too. Yeah, literally making me
What
cry
is it? I
this
didn't mean
morning.
dead name you. Do you go by Beef Vegan?
I do, but you know what? I mean, also my name is Brad Furman as well, or Pifferman, or all the ways that.
Oh, I'm calling you Piffy from now on.
Piffy, call me Piffy.
You just Bruce Wayne his ass.
New nickname.
I mean, dude, I gotta say, yeah, I'm teasing you, but if you had called me Todd Joseph because my moniker is TJ, I wouldn't have been pissed, but I would have been like, listen, Piffy. You
recognize the
like
brand.
such a firm. If you want to be such a firm man, why don't you go work out with Rico?
Yeah, with my peanut butter.
Yeah. He's been trying to get me on.
I think
that
he's just in
too.
character with the bartender, the sarsaparilla bartender.
Yeah, that's right. I
He's
played
in
the
character right
bartender
now.
in Deadpool, and now I played a bartender in 1850s Yellowstone, Montana.
I hope you're in a spin-off for Yellowstone. That'd be a dream.
I'd be into it. I got this shirt in Montana, actually. I think. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
It smells like beef.
Yeah, I'm gonna see that on full screen here, or
full screen.
Let's
see that flannel.
The fullest we can do.
Let's see that shirt.
Very nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's good. You've been staying busy here, so we're going to talk about the comedy special, of course,
quality
while
fabric.
we're on the air.
Little nipple button.
Yeah. And I mean, as far as acting, of course, you're still always doing like voiceover work and staying busy on that. What other projects are you excited that you're getting cast in and you're trying to work on?
Well, it's pretty awesome because I'm going to cast myself in a Christmas movie that me and my buddy are writing. And we just got producer notes on the latest draft of that. And they were psyched. We haven't talked to him yet. We haven't gone on Zoom with him yet. He's in Los Angeles. I live in Manhattan, New York. And he's given us great direction so far because it's a really out there Christmas movie. It's really, really, there's nothing like it. And he said it's almost more like Jumanji or Night at the Museum or Ghostbusters, the original. And I think that that was so exciting to hear that he was like, this could be like a Ghostbusters level movie. And so that's what I always wanted to do. I wanted to write movies that I starred in, but didn't direct, and then to do stand-up comedy. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And
Nice.
It's a big swing. I mean, it'll be like a $25 million movie, maybe $30 million movie. And I'm starting to understand why movies take years to make, because the script has to be perfect to get the perfect director and the perfect cast, and to get financiers to like cough up that much money. I mean, it's a lot of money. And so that's the thing that I'm most excited about. And I wrote a series that I might make a movie, but look at that, a poovie. Look what your last name has done to me.
I know. The P is silent.
Damn it.
Yeah.
And so I think the F is silent. Permanent.
It's not permanent.
Performing.
No,
The P is silent.
We'll figure this out.
You said the P was silent. I'm saying the F. It's okay. Not every joke is going to hit. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes you get embarrassed, you know?
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Okay.
So the series is sort of more of a smaller indie type of feel. So I've got this huge movie and then this kind of smaller movie, but they're both things that I wrote. And then in the meantime, I'm just like hitting it with the stand-up, just grinding. I have 3 stand-up specials that are completely improvised on my YouTube channel right now. And then like a full-on special called Dear Jonah, which is also on my channel. And it's been so fun to do that. It's been so fun to be performing. And I was performing every single weekend for a while. And this year I'm kind of trying to take it down a notch because I really like Kate. She's
Wife, yeah.
She's my wife that feels like a girlfriend, that feels like a chick that I met in college and who I still party with, which is true.
Yeah.
And so it's just it's like kind of going to be better for me to do 3 weeks a month and then take a little time off. And I was like, I don't know, how is that going to work financially? And then I remembered I have Bitcoin. And
It's on a rip. Ripping.
Oh no.
He gets it.
Yeah.
He knows. He knows.
Baby.
We're going to 100K, baby.
Yeah. So I'm having, it is going to go. It's going to go to 100 and then 125 and 250 is next. Mama!
Yeah.
But,
Get those bags.
But stack sats.
Well, TJ, being on the producer screenwriter side of movies, is that going to change your approach when you do other movies? Because I know that you're known for your like improv, so I know that there's been plenty of projects that you worked on before that you're going off script nonstop. And now, as a screenwriter, if you cast somebody like yourself in your movie and he starts ad-libbing, are you going to try to murder that guy? Like, no, stick to the fucking words, man.
That's so interesting. Nobody's asked me that. God, that is really, yeah. No one has asked me that. Certainly, no one with a fake last name. I think no. Well, the answer is no. Absolutely not. I won't care. I mean, the idea is that you want to get the funniest thing. That's just because it's for the audience. It's not for my ego. And I sort of clashed a little bit on Silicon Valley because the head writer of that was a great writer. I mean, truly amazing.
You talking about Mike Judge, or he was just
no?
a
I mean,
showrunner?
Mike Judge is just a genius of a different level. But this guy, Alec Berg, who wrote for Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Seinfeld, and he's a really funny dude. And so he wrote amazing scripts, amazing lines. But I would improvise, and sometimes I would have something that's funnier than him, and they would go with it. Sometimes I would improvise, and then I would say, you know what? The line is written is better. So let me do that a couple more times, and then we can move on. Yeah. But occasionally, I found the better line, and he would come over and say, hey, I think you should do the written one a few more times. And I would say, I think we got it with this. So this is what I'm going to do. And he would say, I think the line is better. So let's just do that. And I'd say, listen, if you are so focused on getting your line on television, you're editing the thing. So just use your line. But I'm going to do what I know is the best, especially for me. And so, yeah, the writer, when confronted with a personality like mine and an improviser of my caliber, whatever that is it can kind of get touchy, you know, it really can. Yes. And so I tried to kind of ride that and smooth it out as much as I could, smooth peanut butter. But
Rock 1 2.1, we're talking with TJ Miller right here.
always, when I was working with those other guys in Silicon Valley, they're so funny. Zach Woods is so funny. Thomas Middleditch is so funny. All of them are.
Yeah.
And but those dudes are both like hardcore improvisers, UCB trained, like amazing.
Right. They even did an improv special.
Yeah. And if they would hit a line and it worked and it got in the way of my line, let's say, I would just let it go. I'd be like, we don't even need this anymore. Let's hit that again. And it's going to be shorter. It's going to be better. Let's do that. So there's so little ego in what I do because I do it just for the audience. I think life is fundamentally tragic. And if I can provide some ephemeral escapism from that, then that's the best thing that I can do. I'm not going to say there's like nobility to it, but it's something that I really want. And I think is important. And so I think if somebody came on my set and wanted to improvise, if the improvisation was great, then no problem. I'm so happy you're here. You're making the movie better. If it's somebody who's trying to improvise, there was an actress who was on, I feel like season 3, but
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, but she kept saying things off camera while Zach Woods was improvising. And and this girl, by the way, everybody has a problem with her, but she was
a comedian too.
Yeah, she was a comedian also. And she would just talk off camera. And I was kind of like, what are you doing? And then she started interrupting Zach Woods, and that guy's maybe the best improviser alive. I mean, he is really, really up there. Ryan Reynolds is one of the greats. Jonah Hill is so much better than I could have expected. Yeah. But Zach Woods is like it's unbelievable how funny he is. And he's also very neurotic and so she would keep talking over his lines, and then he wouldn't do them again because he didn't think that they were funny. It was funny when he first said it. He's wasting everybody's time. We need to move on to the next thing. And we were losing these like fucking comedic gems. It was crazy. Dump it.
You saw it. Yeah.
I saw it. But I'm sorry. But that is how insane. Yeah. And all I could think was like, dude, he is saying stuff that people are going to quote, that people are just going to cry laughing. And there's going to be millions and millions and tens of millions and millions of people that are going to see this. And you're like robbing them of laughs.
Right.
And so I finally was like, you got to stop talking. You're not on camera. They're not going to use anything that you're saying. You have to stop. And then she like did it one or two more times. And I took her aside, as I recall, and I was like, don't do that anymore. Okay.
Right.
You've got to let him work. All right. When you're on camera, go for it. Do whatever you want to do, but stop. He's not going to be able, he's going to collapse. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. And then she just went off to talk crap later on.
Yeah, but like obviously, especially when you're shooting and you're behind the scenes, then you shouldn't be saying anything. You shouldn't be making any noise. You're shooting something.
You're off camera and you're just supposed to read your lines. They're not even going to use them. You're just supposed to read the lines so that the guy on camera can respond and be able to do his comedy, and in this case, improvise. And so for me, it's like, I am so much more about making sure that other people can do their thing, elevate the material, all of that. And my buddy who I'm writing it with is the same way. I mean, that's why we've done so well working on the screenplay together. I hate the phrase writing partners because it sounds like two homosexuals that are working.
It's romantic.
That's
sweet. This is my partner.
Late 90s, you know what I mean? This is my partner.
Rico's my hetero writing partner,
right?
Too.
But he's a genius. And you guys, I just feel at ease with you guys. I just feel I can cuss, I can curse, I can swear. I can have a mustache that makes me look like I own a penny farthing. And a bicycle with the big wheel in front and the teeny tiny in the back.
Yeah.
And so he and I are able to never be precious about our jokes or structure or whatever. So when one of us goes, no, man, I think it's the other way, we will both either say yes, or one of us will go, let's see it. Let's write it again and see it that way. And then we'll go, yeah, you know what? Let's go back to the other thing. So a lot of our own writing is cut by the other person and by ourselves because we want this to be a movie that is like a Christmas classic. And when you're working in this genre, Christmas, there are no good movies. There's like 5 great Christmas films. So it's a very hard movie to get right. But this is also sort of sci-fi and fantasy. And so it's a movie that's never been made. Again, it's kind of like Ghostbusters. And I thought that actually that was like a pretty good approximation to say sort of what, what the genre or style of it is. And so we've been working on it for like over a year. And I think we just now got it right. And a lot of what we've done has made it a movie that isn't our favorite script of the ones that we wrote, but it is the one most likely to connect with people and work from Boise, Idaho to Portland, Oregon to, Portland, Maine. I mean, we really want all of America to love it. And we also want people that are younger. It's PG-13.
Well, I got a question.
Get into it.
In that vein, is it?
Do I go to the gym? Was that
do you have extra peanut butter?
Yeah.
Is it set in the modern time or is it kind of like a period piece, like 80s ish?
No, it is set in the modern times.
Okay.
Something happens that is like catastrophic for the world, and it all takes place in the Mall of America, which is where we will shoot. And it's just like it's an idea that we can't even believe no one has come up with. It's my buddies, it's my partners. Idea. We were at home we were in bed. We have a pull-out couch, and we were watching Sex and the City. And I remember he turned to me and he whispered the idea for the film in my ear, and I just made love. Not to him.
You poured an extra glass of Franzia.
His mind.
You made love to his mind.
No, I mean it's just an idea that is so out there, but is so great. And so we're also really being like true to, trying to make this a great movie, trying to be true to the idea and like do it right. And the writer's strike, of course, robbed us of like, 7 months or 8 months or something? Because I'm WGA and he's not, but all the producers weren't able to talk to us. And so I think we'd be a lot further but we don't need to be. Like, it's also a movie where I play. I mean, I've already played Santa Claus, but it's also a movie where I play kind of a sort of Santa Claus. And so that we're in no rush. I'm gonna go white.
Yeah, you're gonna age into it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I'm gonna go white. And we did research with mall Santas in the Mall of America. And they're all members, except for one, they're all members of the IBRBS, the International Brotherhood of Real Bearded Santas. That's
a real thing.
That's funny.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so what they do is when you get to that level, you go white. And what that means is that you dye your hair white, your hair and your beard, but you also dye your eyebrows white.
Correct.
So that's like the moment where it's like, I'm Santa Claus year round. I mean, your eyebrows aren't going to grow out. And so it's really interesting because one of the Santas that my character is sort of akin to or based on, he just does, I think, white. No, that's not true. He went white. He has white eyebrows, but he shaves his beard, and it's so funny to talk to these guys because they don't drink or cuss during December.
Right.
And the whole year, the guy that I love, Christmas Eve is the last day at the mall to see the kids.
Yeah. Right.
So Christmas Eve, he shaves his beard. It's all ritual. He has his first beer, and then they effing party.
Yeah, they rage.
Night.
Yeah.
And then he hangs these holidays with all his buddies. They're so excited. I think he like starts to cut weight a little bit. And then New Year's Day, he starts growing his beard for Christmas.
Wow.
So
it's
a whole
year-long process.
Life, his whole life is based around Santa Claus, around being Santa Claus.
I want to see a documentary on this.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like we're going to do that in conjunction with the movie. There is a documentary about Santas, and Ric Flair is somebody who wanted to be a Santa Claus and is obsessed with it.
No, Mick Foley. Mick Foley.
Mick Foley, that's right. Mick Foley.
Yeah.
And he's just about it. So that documentary is amazing. There hasn't really been a documentary about these mall Santas and what they are. They're like saints. And the funniest thing, to me, the funniest thing, okay, is that one of the Santas, and I feel like I can trust you guys, okay?
You can trust us.
We love this Santa Claus, and his name is Santa Herman. And he's a smaller Santa Claus, almost diminutive, you know. And he was the main Santa. Santa Sid was the most famous mall Santa in the world, and worked at the Mall of America for like 40 years. And he just retired recently, but Santa Herman used to be an elf for Santa Sid. And he was an elf for years, but always wanted to be a Santa. And so Santa Sid finally kind of crowned him a Santa, gave him his spectacles.
Oh, wow.
And Santa Herman is now a Santa Claus. And
is he a little person?
No. He's
okay.
No, not all. I mean, he's a small dude, you know?
Yeah.
But he's not at all, you know, he's just a regular height. So he's not all that. But he's, I mean, it's really fascinating because there's a lot of Santa like talk and, how do I say this? Not gossip, but like people have strong opinions about Santas.
Who and who doesn't belong in that club.
And there's a guy who doesn't work at the Mall of America, but who kind of said, you know, I think Santa Herman is really an elf in Santa's clothing. And I thought that was so funny and like kind of bitchy, you know?
Yeah.
But really sort of, it's bizarre to kind of understand that. And some Santas don't think if you shave your beard, then you're not a real Santa, or to the caliber of realness that the Santas that have a white beard year round. But also these guys, there's a bunch of Santas at the mall. These guys, they like walk around and they're saints on earth, and everybody loves them because they look like Santa Claus year round. And a lot of them wear red. Santa Sid, when he's not, he wears a red tracksuit when he's out and about. Their baseball caps are red. They're, you know, it's a very strange culture. And so we're going to examine that with this movie. And it's just so cool, you know, because it's not, the movie's not this, but it's, my character is sort of the opposite of bad Santa. And boy,
so like really good Santa.
Boy, did bad Santa piss off all of the Santa Clauses.
Oh, really?
Oh, man.
They hate that movie?
Scorn them.
And to make the movie, we had to go to Santa Sid. We met him at a Perkins family restaurant and bakery for hot chocolate.
As you would.
And cookies. Okay?
Yes.
No carrots because there was no reindeer. And so we sat with him and we pitched him the idea to sort of get his blessing. And he thought about it, heard it. He was wondering, because he thought bad Santa was like terrible for the brand. It was awful.
Yeah. Right.
And he goes, you know what? I like it. And I give you my blessing because both of you, I can tell, have the Christmas spirit in you. And the Christmas spirit is the spirit of giving. And I can feel the Christmas spirit in both of you. And my buddy Jay, who is Jewish, started crying. I'm not joking.
Oh,
wow.
He's what he wanted to hear his whole life. Yeah.
Isn't that the sweetest thing that you
So
can ever
nice.
imagine?
It's so wholesome.
And
He's like, you accept me?
He's adopted. And so there's like a funny layer to that. But I mean, it's so funny to see a Jewish person, this guy, and he's just, it was a Jewish guy being told that he had the Christmas spirit, and then he started crying, not bawling, just started crying. It was one of my favorite moments in my entire life. But the lore of this film is so rich and so interesting. There's almost no way it can't get made. And so we're really excited about it. And it's, for me, I already played Santa Claus. I was Santa Claus in Office Christmas Party.
Right.
That's R-rated. So this Santa Claus movie will have a bit less cocaine. But I really do feel as though, like, I don't know. I mean, I kind of need something like this where people see the side of me that they see, but on the animated films that I do, kind of just this sweetness and this kindness that is me.
Right.
And then, see it in a live action film that also has some like comedy that is me, not R-rated, but is like a little hard-edged, ridiculous, whatever, all the things that you've seen me in. And because I've never written a major motion picture that I've been in, I've always had to shoehorn my stuff in to the scenes and to what's going on. Luckily, everybody from Michael Bay to Steven Spielberg has said, yes, do whatever you want. The camera's rolling, go for it. But I have no control over the scene, the other people in the scene, the structure of the film, all of that. And so this has been really worthwhile. And I hope that on this next notes calls on Wednesday, that we'll be at a stage where it's like, guys, let's shape this script up, because we've torn it down and built it up 3 times. And I'm hoping, and what I think is that he's going to go, let's begin the process. Let's start figuring out financing, et cetera. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your wife your wife, Kate, how's she going to feel about you going a full Santa, going white eyebrows, white beard, and basically aging yourself like 40 years?
I think that I was growing a beard for the writing of this latest draft, just because I think it's funny to like be a method actor, or in my case, a meth head actor.
Hey,
I have a problem. Please help me.
Oh God.
So oh dear.
What have we done?
I think I was shaving the beard down, and then I made a shaving mistake, which was I brought the razor down and I forgot to put it back up. So I went here and shaved it off. You can even see that it's like gone here, but stubble here. Yeah. And so I had these mutton chops, and Kate was like, why don't you shave it so there's just a tiny little line that goes to your mustache? That would be really funny. So then I did it. And last night she was like, oh, please don't do that. We're going to this important party with art collectors and everything. And I said, no, it's really funny. You'll see. And I got there, and 2 of her friends were like, I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
My friends is like, it's really sexy. And I was, oh my God, I was cracking up, because now Kate's like, damn it. Yeah. I think she wants me to be clean shaven because she knows this is coming. And once I do the movie, you can do extensions maybe, but my beard is going to come. It's not going to be like Father Time level,
right?
But it's going to come down to sort of here and be.
It's got to be Santa-esque.
Yeah, it's a real. Sure. It'll be sort of a modern Santa look,
right?
Like my hair will sort of not be quite like this, but sort of more back here, so it's coming down a little bit. But it'll look kind of like me as Santa Claus. And dude, that is one of the funniest things. I mean, weirdo, tell me what you think about this. Okay?
Yeah.
Just imagine an entire movie where I look like Santa Claus.
Think about it.
It's just, it is, we start laughing sometimes thinking about that the entire time, and I'm like, what are we going to do? We got to get out of here. I'm Santa Claus. You know what I mean?
do you have to consult with the Santa guide to make sure everything's up to standard as far as like Santa aesthetics?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, dude.
Santa Sam at the Mall of America, he's kind of our main consultant for the film, and he'll be credited as well as Santa Herman. But it's really, it's fun, dude. It's going to be great. So that's the main thing that I'm doing. Weirdo, you've had like 5 or 6 questions that you've been burning to ask. So I just
and ask that question when we get on the air, which will be 12 seconds. So let me reset the table and then
because I know about this Santa culture.
A little too much,
yeah, I do.
She's into weird things, TJ, which you're gonna like.
I bet that's where she got her name.
Yeah, Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're back here with a comedian, actor, TJ Miller on the podcast broadcast. A weirdo has been begging or burning to ask some questions. So what's your question for TJ?
Well,
here,
I mean,
weirdo?
You're talking about this movie that you're putting together with all the Santa stuff, and it is true about the going white thing. So I am also a hairstylist. And I do have a client who I see in November and December to bleach his hair because he's got gray hair, but it's too dark.
Yeah.
And also to bleach his eyebrows and a couple of blonde spots he's got in his beard. So my question is that what you're going to do? Are you going to bleach and tone all of it and just keep up with it?
Such a hairstylist question.
It's such a hairstylist question, but yeah.
No, because that's what they all do.
Yeah, it is absolutely.
Even if they're blonde, you have to do a full bleach.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're beat Santa.
You bleach the beard, which I guess doesn't feel great. You bleach the eyebrows, and it has to stay bleached, right, for a little while. And then you go in and you make it white, and then that's it. you can't dye it back. The only thing you can do is grow it out, and to really grow it out is going to take like 6 months or something like that, right? Is that right?
Yeah, it takes a while.
I'm going all the way, but I kind of think, I mean, the eyebrows is sort of funny, but I'm down with having eyebrows and hair at this length or whatever that's white. I think that'll be so funny, and I think Kate will be able to get into it, but.
Have you done any
like two friends?
Have you looked at any Photoshop pictures of what you would look like with white hair ahead of time?
Oh my God!
I got
somebody
you.
Call AI. We got to get this done.
Right
That's
here.
What Rico does.
That's what Rico does.
Yeah, 10 seconds. He can white you out real quick.
Rico, go for it. What are you doing? Are you doing it?
I got you.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Sheen did it for Bad Omens, and it looked really good on him. I think it's gonna look great on you.
Cool. In the meantime, I was a vegan for 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Why?
Why?
I mean, with the name. Like, why? Yeah. What's the purpose there?
Kate and I did this like detox. We did a vegan cleanse and a detox because she was like, "Do you want to do this with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I don't care." So we did it, and then I was like, "What's the funniest amount of time to be vegan?" And I said, "I think it's 3 weeks." So I was going to do it for another week or a week and a half. And then Kate's like, "Well, if you're going to do it for comedic purposes, 5 weeks is funnier." And I was like, "Damn it." He's right. And so I did it for 5 weeks, and it was fascinating because you don't miss the meat. I didn't really miss the alcohol. I wasn't drinking for like 22 days. You don't miss the alcohol, and then you don't miss like fish or anything, but you really miss the cheese.
Yes, I was going to say that cheese. Yeah.
And what people don't understand is if you are a vegetarian in the United States, then you eat cheese. Anything that doesn't have meat in it has cheese. Oh, I'd like a sandwich, but I don't eat any meat or fish. Okay, well, how about the caprese, tomatoes,
salad,
cheese? I can't do that. So that's my impression of a vegan. I can't eat that. I'm sorry, I can't eat that. But it was really interesting to be the most annoying person at the party,
right?
Because and then beefy vegan. Are you vegan? Have you ever been vegan?
No, but my daughter's vegan. Her name is Veal. She's veal vegan, and she ironically became vegan when she became a teenager, and she's been vegan for a couple years. And what a pain in the ass that is. Now there are some things like vegan chocolate chip cookies are amazing, right? But vegan cheese, vegan. Yeah, I know. I messed up.
Veal. It's your fault.
I know. You did this. I thought she'd see the irony.
No, it is a very, very funny name. It's one of the funniest names I've ever heard somebody naming their kid, especially daughter. Is really funny.
Yeah, veal vegan.
Veal vegan, but I feel like being vegan is you think you're better than everybody else. You really do. You're silently judging everyone.
Yep, murderers,
you're still such a hypocrite. Like, tell your daughter, like, well, if you're really doing this, then you should stop using electricity. Let's start there,
Yeah.
Because it's impeding on the animals. So to me, it's very ridiculous because I didn't care about the animals or any of that stuff.
It was just a health thing.
No, it was not a health thing either. I was just doing it to be funny after those 2 cleanse detoxes.
Yeah.
But I went to a party and people just don't understand it. The guy was like, "Well, sir, are you gonna have any of the prosciutto?" It's all. You go, "Oh, sorry, you're being vegan, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can't eat that." And he goes, "Well, do you want some sushi?" I said, "Well, that's fish, so I can't eat that."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, what about the California roll? That's imitation crab." And I was like, "Yeah, that's just cheaper fish. I can't eat that."
No.
And then he literally was like, "Well, we've got plenty of cheese." And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, you want a marijuana gummy? You can have a marijuana gummy."
Yeah.
And I go, "I can't eat that." He goes, "What? It's marijuana. It's from the earth." I go, "Yeah, but the gummy is animal product. And so I can't eat that." And he goes, "Oh, what? Is it come from something gross like the intestines or something?" I go, "No, it's the inside of the hoof. So it's the inside of a horse's hoof, and they scrape out the gelatin from inside the hooves. So you're eating hooves when you eat that gummy."
Really?
Yes.
You knew that? I didn't know that.
I get high on hooves.
You're eating a horse's
pig and horse hoof.
Oh.
And he just looks at me and he goes, "Get out of my apartment."
that was dropping fun facts to TG Miller. I didn't know that to where I can't even eat gummies anymore. But yes, that's a gross fact. So
but now hold on, because once you eat a hoof or two, like the actual hooves,
yeah,
then the gummy doesn't seem that gross.
That's true. Yeah. Well, you don't get that nice like foot flavor that if you eat an actual hoof.
Tell
As opposed
veal.
to hooves. Yeah. Yeah. So we're talking with TJ Miller. Of course, TJ, he's actually on tour and he's going to be having some shows at the Tempe Improv up in Phoenix. You know, he's got comedy specials that are available on his YouTube channel. And we're talking about, you know, him becoming a screenwriter and also trying to produce his passion project, this next movie of his. What's the difference? Like, was it difficult for you to transition from writing stand-up comedy, which you've been doing since you were a teenager, and now you're going straight into screenplay writing, and not only for a movie, but you know, a series that's got to be obviously different in so many aspects of it. Was it challenging for you to be able to grasp that?
I mean, I think that all of it kind of ties together and really is rooted in improvisation. You know, so when I do stand-up, I'm often I'm always improvising. Sometimes I'm doing improv half the show. I'm riffing and maybe doing some crowd work. And then sometimes I'll riff an entire hour. Like one of my specials online is called the Spokane special.
Yeah.
And it's a special where I went to Spokane. I riffed in like an hour on Spokane. And we cut it down to 37 minutes. And it's amazing. And people love it, even if they're not from Spokane. So
you're just roasting Spokane when you go there and just you get on stage and immediately you're kind of inspired just to kind of mess with the crowd and do a little crowd work. And then you were just in the zone and kept going.
Yeah, exactly. And I did it a little bit each night, but just on the last night, like all came together. Or actually first show Saturday. And you know, so that's stuff that I'll do. And then I'll do that with ideas. You know what I mean? So like I'm vegan for 5 weeks and I go, well, I had this experience. You know, let me go and talk about this. And, you know, I met this insanely last named guy on the radio and he named his daughter Veal. And I'll talk about what a weirdo is and how he thinks he's kind of a Rico Suave. So I'll put all those on stage and then
tied together.
Kind of,
beautiful.
You know, do that. And so that's kind of what I'm doing when I'm writing, which is sort of a version of improvisation, of course. And so it kind of, you know, it goes everywhere. It's like, I think truly in my like core, I'm an improviser.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when you're writing, are you recording voice notes nonstop, like into your phone, or you're just, you get an idea, you start kind of like spewing some dialogue and then go back and then rewrite that?
I used to do voice notes, but it was like too time consuming to go back. So now I used to carry a notebook and I do that sometimes, but now it's just all like.
He's right into your phone. Or you say, ChatGPT, write me a funny scene.
No, absolutely not. Never.
But
it's like, you know, it'll be like, why do you pass the golden hallway and go to the dark alley? And that's, somebody said that about going down on the derriere. You know, and so I talk about that. And then, you know, this just says mozzarella stick pull during a serious conversation about white entitlement. Or, you know, like, but
that's such a funny idea and scene too. That's so
good. But this, then this is just a note about somebody that I saw on the plane. And it said, guy looking at sexy girl pictures, tasteful, bald and small as he, lingering at the fantasy. And that's almost a poem. So it's just dumb stuff. Or like, haiku. This is so funny to me. This is such a great line. And I used to wear a wife beater, or as it is now known, a woman who's upset with his wife. but I have in there wife beater as it is now referred to as a man who's upset with his wife. And so it's like, which of those is better, no or referred? And then I'll have to work out on stage, like how to explain that we're not saying a guy who's beating his wife is upset with his wife. I'm saying a guy doesn't beat his wife anymore. At most, he can be like giving her the silent treatment, you know?
Yeah. And that's the tank top and body.
So then, and so then I just kind of will mess with that. But I don't know. I think I have, and a lot of these are set lists here. So I have 4,655 notes.
Gee.
Wow.
And then, yeah, just go through them. And that's how, that's part of the writing process. So you throw a lot of stuff at the wall and then see what sticks. We're talking with comedian TJ Miller. We're keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. Be back with more right after this. Rock 102.1. So I've reset there. So we've been going back and forth on the FM side, by the way. That's how we do it. And I know I'll let you go here because I'm sure you got things to do and you're out.
No. I mean, listen, I'm having the best time. And the only reason I'm sort of like, is because I've been doing radio since, 8 a.m. this morning. But in the last 4 days, I've done 56 radio stations nonstop on this tour. And then last night I did a show where I had to close it. So I got off at like midnight. And when I got home, Kate was like reeling from this dinner that we went to. So that was really fun. So we had to hang out and chill and everything. But this is like one of the best that I had. This is also the longest because this is like a real podcast.
Right.
So this is really, really fun for sure.
Well, you know, I always like talking with you.
I wish Weirdo would shut the fuck up.
I know. And I've got an improv question for you of like, again, you've been on Silicon Valley and Deadpool and everything. Yeah. Do you have like a favorite like co-star that you've improv'd with or like a favorite improv moment that you've had in your career?
I mean, I liked Jin Yang from Silicon Valley. This guy, Jimmy O Yang. Yeah. And then I was a big fan, you know, Thomas Middleditch and I, the sort of lead of that show, we had a 2-man improv show in Chicago. And he's like the best. Yeah, he's like the best improviser I've ever come across.
You said that. Did you do a run with him or was it like a one-off?
No, it was a run. We had a regular weekly show for a while. And then I did stand up with Kumail. In Chicago, I started with him. And so I knew all those guys. It was so bizarre to all get on this show that became incredibly successful. But Thomas is more fun to improvise with off camera. I thought that was really interesting too.
Yeah. I think I've been watching his Twitch stream when he's gaming, like Red Dead Redemption. You guys together on that. Thomas.
I like it.
He's hilarious on that.
That made it weird. Some of that stuff, when everybody gets famous and on a show that's really successful and everybody's making money, it gets weird. So I don't really talk to him anymore. And
that's a bummer.
It was also tough. Well, it's not that much of a bummer. I know. I had this joke. What was my joke? I was like, I was talking to some guys my age and he's single. And this girl that he was sort of interested in was like, well, I'd like to just be friends. And he's like, so I don't know what to say to that. And I was like, tell her, I already got friends. I don't need any more friends. I'm doing fine. I'm trying to have sexual intercourse with you. But I love him. He's the best. He's so funny. But he on camera was just a different type of improviser. But I loved Zach Woods. But I don't think he and I improvising together was like such an amazing thing. But I do think, actually, now that we've got it, it's like I think Ryan Reynolds. Like Ryan Reynolds is so fast,
right?
He's so funny, and
right.
He can come up with written lines, and he'll give you lines, and then if you give him lines, he's totally down with that. And I think it was interesting to work with him because I can kind of go toe to toe with anybody, and some people, you know, I don't know how they feel about that, you know. Whereas I just thought he was like so funny. I mean, and it's cool to improvise with somebody who can come up with great lines in your voice,
right?
To give to you, because then you don't. And those writers are amazing, so they would throw lines to us all the time. And that set on the first Deadpool specifically, that set was so cool because it was just the funniest people in the United States, maybe sort of in the world, kind of just throwing like, what about this? Oh, I thought this. The writers were running over, and we thought I'd come in with the script. I'm thinking about these, but we don't have like more than an hour. Which of these is funny? And Ryan would say, oh, you know, I think this one and this one. So it was really fascinating to kind of like be in that environment because, like I said, there's no ego. So it was just awesome it was very collaborative. It felt like an improv show because I used to be in improv groups.
Yeah, so let me introduce you as well. Our buddy Herb Strattford. Squeeze into the scene there, right? Or the screen.
Santa Herb.
Yes, so he's a film critic. Of course, you recognize TJ Miller and stuff. So he's the enemy TJ. We like to have him on just to roast him about his stories from Sundance. And obviously we get a good rundown. It's good to see you back.
Thank you,
Herb.
Welcome back, buddy.
I want to show you something too, TJ. So we weren't joking about Rico's Photoshop ability. So if you want to see what you would look like if you had some gray in your hair and Santa, you utilized AI with this too, right?
Course,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is AI you, dude. So it's not going to be spot on. But
it's like Robert Redford and him had like a baby at KFC.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, so here's
nice.
a first TJ. Now this is without the gray, right?
I know.
Okay.
I tried to tell it to do the gray, but it refused.
And then here's just a aging TJ. Actually, look how
that
sophisticated
sexy.
you look.
It's Robert Redford right there.
That's really funny.
Yeah, it's getting there. Let's see.
That's the winner.
Yeah, no, this is like
what was the prompt on that one?
TJ Miller fighting as Santa Claus? No.
Fighting a Santa Claus.
It was something simple. I gotta go back to it.
Yeah, it looks like you're a barista of your off time.
I just put the image of him, white hair Santa Claus, eating a steak or eating peanut butter on one
and
of those.
And it just keeps coming back with gingers.
Yeah, well, it's getting there.
Yeah,
so
the sunshine on the photo.
Put in all white hair, beard, and eyebrows.
There you go. Yeah. And then send
very
that to
specific.
Because we got to know.
I love you said that he's this AI master, and then I just told him a different prompt. He's like, "You're right. I should tell."
You're right.
That I wanted to.
You're so smart.
This
guy's the best in town. Well, trust me. Like, hey,
the best I can afford, dude.
What do I put?
On that radio cash, that's all we got.
We are.
I'm famished.
Tucson, so is the market like?
Try it again. How was Sundance, Herm?
Actually, Beef is mistaken. I didn't get to go this year. So,
so
this is my first year in 14 years. I haven't gone. So it was,
what did you
it was
do
very
instead?
bummed. Oh, I had a medical thing. Not that I want to get into it on the air, but anyway, yeah. So I had to pass, and the problem was, the Sundance media people are awesome. They're like, no problem, whatever. My Airbnb was like, no, sorry, we're keeping your money. I'm like, excuse me? Right. I gave them like a month's notice. They could have rented it out again, and they're like, no, we're keeping your money.
Yeah, and also, by the way,
the French
charge you a fee or something, and then immediately rent it to somebody else.
Right.
So many people want to go to Sundance. That is really messed up, Herm.
Yeah.
And I would tell you that you should get over here on Santa's lap.
Yeah.
Tell me what else you want for Christmas besides your money back from the Airbnb.
You know what I want? I want you to come to our film festival in October and hang out. That's what I want you to
Dude,
do.
I'm with that. You guys give me the invite. Herm, have you seen American Fiction?
Yes, yeah. Actually, no, I it's fascinating. And he's a Tucson guy. Cord Jefferson is from Tucson, the adapted screenwriter, the director. Yeah. He won the Oscar.
We didn't watch the Oscars. Did that win Best Picture?
No, it won Best Adapted Screenplay.
Yeah. So it
what
win
won
something.
Best Picture?
Oppenheimer.
Yeah. And Pacino kind of just,
so good.
spewed it out without doing the nominees or nothing. Full blown Pacino move, which is nice.
But Emma Stone won for Best Actress for Poor Things, and that was well deserved. And she's amazing. She's an Arizona girl. No,
I think so.
What do you like?
I think that movie was great. It was just about 2 hours too long. That's
like
the
the
joke
lobster.
that I'd say about Transformers 4. But it was easily an hour too long for sure, at least 45 minutes. And then I really liked her, and fine, give her an award. But I thought that she was the worst part of that movie. I thought that Mark Ruffalo was so funny and so satirical, and I loved William Dafoe. And I liked a lot of the people around her more than Gerard Carmichael is a friend of mine. And I thought he was good and kind of weird. But Emma, just after a little while, it felt like, and I don't know if it was her fault, really. I think in some ways, here's what it was. I didn't even think about this. Because it was too long, there was her having to do too much of that character. And so after a while, it fatigues the audience a little bit. And then anyone who's kind of like, oh, geez, this is long, is like, I've seen this shtick. Why do we have to see her having sex in the brothel for 45 minutes? Like, let's do it. What it is you've got, of course, the joke with the Catholic priest, but it's the butcher guy. Let him do his thing. She has to have sex. It doesn't really matter. Let her be excited about the money, right? And then let's do our thing where she's whipping some guy we get it. We get the sexuality, the male-female power, the dominance, the sexual shaming. And I'm a big, like, Kate and I have gotten in arguments because we have a frozen daughter, 3 of them actually. And I've been like, if they want to do a cam girl thing where they're masturbating on OnlyFans and that's how they want to make money for college, that's their choice, I think. And Kate will be like, no, it's not. She should not be doing that. I think she should be able to. And I go, whoa, her body, her choice, right, Kate? Isn't that an important part of all of this? And I'm serious. I'm real about that. It's like, if you're a woman, fuck guys for money if you want to, or masturbate on camera. Do whatever you want with your sexuality. And I think that's fine. And so there was that in the movie, but we only needed 20 minutes of it, not 40 minutes of it. And I think the danger of having a film that is too long is something great can turn into something that is tiresome. And that's just dangerous because you have this great art. And if you had just not been so precious about it, then we would have had a best picture on our hands, I think, to be honest with you. And Oppenheimer.
Hold that thought real quick. I don't mean to interject. Let's get back on the air. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. On the line still with TJ Miller, and we got Herb Strattford, film critic, in studio. So we got another opportunity of a critic and actor sitting in the same conversation, and we're talking about Poor Things and how it would have benefited from better editing. And it was ironic that Oppenheimer then won Best Film because that's such a long film, but you say because it's a biopic that it kind of gets a pass.
That had a great naked scene too.
I thought
the best of the year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
God, that was so funny. Yeah. I thought Oppenheimer was very long for sure, but it didn't feel as long because again, you're right. It's a biopic. It's like we see his life, his entire from the beginning, not when he's a child, but like from the beginning all the way to him at the end getting a presidential medal. And, you see so much of his love affair and that interest and that coming in and out and and so I think it does get more of a pass, but I feel like maybe there's more richness to that story, but Poor Things, it was a very solid, strange idea from a director who's just great at that. And it's a fantasy, but things can always be shorter. Like Oppenheimer should have been shorter. It didn't have to be that long. There's no reason that you can't get rid of 20 minutes. The problem is, if you're Christopher Nolan, nobody says no to you.
Correct.
Nobody says no to you. And if it's your masterpiece, your magnum opus, well, it has to be this long. Everything that I filmed, everything that I envisioned, it has to be that. And then I can never pronounce his name, but the director from The Lobster who did Poor Things, he's at a point now where nobody's going to say no. They're just not going to say no to him. And I think another problem with that, because I've been in situations like that for sure, and still sometimes get in those situations, it's hard to tell people, like, if you think I'm effing this up, I guess on your program, be PFing it up. If I'm PFing this up in any way, tell me. Maybe I won't listen to you, but you've got to give me notes and suggestions and thoughts and everything. So I'm also worried that like these films are trying to go the other direction from TikTok, which is a Chinese spying device, espionage, and but away from the clips and the scrolling and all this stuff. They're going all the way in the other direction to 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. And I'm like, how much further do you want to push the next generation away? What are you trying to do? What are we trying to prove? That only adults and intellectuals can see movies? Well, we already have indie art house movies. That's already a genre. There's already a place for that. There are all these like art house film play. But if there aren't Marvel movies, which is starting to feel what's going to happen, like after the Eternals, which Herb loved. I mean, he won't stop talking about it. Remember when we hated it. And he took off his shirt and his pants. And he was in that sort of
he still wears that shirt. I know. It came out years ago. Still wears it.
He loves it. But no, what's the one with Brie Larson?
Oh,
Marvel. Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And so, when that failed, kind of, and then the Eternals
did fail.
failed, which had it's like, and Ant-Man 3 failed, and so we're in a place that we've all been hoping for, which is enough sequels, enough comic book movies, and now that it's happening, I almost feel like those of us in the industry are like, yeah, but then what are we going to do? How do we get people to come to the theater?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I think it's not a great thing that the original movies are. I didn't love Barbie. Herb, I don't know where you stand on that. I thought it was PF and awesome that they made it. I love that my wife and so many friends loved it. My father-in-law loved it. My writing partner, he loved it also. And it was the right length. It was the right amount of time to spend on that idea.
Mm-hmm.
And at no point in there were you like, geez, they've been in the real world for a long time. And I think it's because they were attacking a demographic that is just not going to put up with a 2-hour movie. They don't even want it to be an hour and 40 minutes.
Unless you make it memeable.
Special.
Memeable with like a bucket of popcorn, like Dune did.
Oh yeah.
A bucket that you can PF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. And I felt like I felt like I was glad Barbie got made. I'm a big fan of both Greta and Noah Baumbach. So I think they did a good job. But I think I was like, okay, is it a Best Picture nominee?
No, it's a popcorn flick.
Yeah.
Look, I thought these movies getting longer in the theater is kind of like the Netflix counter effects, because everyone's been basically watching 10 hours of programming for these specialty series. So they feel like to compete with that from an artistic standpoint is to make it longer, or people will be more willing to watch a longer product because they sit and they binge 4 or 5 hours at a time. Mm-hmm. But that's not the case in the theater.
That's so interesting that they might have said, well, people have longer attention spans, but in a limited series, you can binge it. But you can also walk away from it after an hour and you've seen 2 episodes, or you do 2 episodes, but that's the nature of a series. And I'm kind of working on one right now called The Loneliest Megaplex, which is about a guy who gets his job back at movie theaters when they opened in June 2020.
Yeah.
But he's the only one hired back. So it's just him alone in a 30-screen megaplex.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a period piece during the pandemic. But anyway, the point is like that, if you got 6 episodes of a limited series or 8 episodes of a limited series, well, it's written to be returned to and be long enough that it can make it through, and each episode has its own completely different thing. It's a different section of the character.
If done right.
Lives, It's all that love and chemistry or whatever, which Kate really likes. And I kind of was like, oh boy, this is a little too Gossip Girl for me. But then it got real quickly and it got awesome. By the way,
it was so good. Yeah.
Yeah, you like that one?
Good.
Oh yeah.
So good. And so I sort of feel like they shouldn't, don't do that. Find the middle range. Don't be a 10-second YouTube short or 10-minute YouTube short, but don't be a 2-hour limited series of 4 half an hour. But just kind of go back to primordial human beings around the fire. If you told a story and it was an hour and it was funny, great. If it was an hour and a half and it had some gravitas or some real to it, yes. But 2 hours is the longest you can tell a story around the fire before people are like, all right, shut up. And it has to be an incredibly engaging story about how a woolly mammoth tried to find you and make love to you, but a saber-toothed tiger saved you. And, and you named both of them Herm, and you taught them to be vegans because they were meat eaters and all that stuff. It needs to be that caliber of storytelling to make it to 2 hours. So I'm really a fan of comedies being an hour and a half. That's to me, that is the sweet spot.
That's the sweet spot.
Yeah. Absolutely. Especially when you're going out. We're keeping the conversation moving with TJ Miller. We got Herb Strattford in studio as well. So we'll talk about some movie releases, what is worth watching, what's not, and more. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. And clear. All right. So, all right. And that was us on the FM side now, dude. Now you can say fucking. Whee!
What I find very interesting too is the sort of the youth's fascination with subtitles. Oh, there's another one.
Closer.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Look at those candy cane eyebrows, bro.
Look at the highlights and the curls.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
bad.
Yeah. At least AI
Show it to your partner.
respects you enough to make you look, good looking when they come up with images. I tried to do the same for myself, and it was like literally a picture of someone's anus.
Oh my god! You know what? I kind of
Thanks, computer.
Hold on.
Because I'm watching Shogun right now, and that has subtitles, and I love it. I think I'm already fascinated with Japan in general, but that show is so good.
And that's Hulu.
But yeah, everybody's watching that show. They don't. It's like they don't care about subtitles anymore. It's in Japanese.
I saw it, or sorry, I've seen like advertisements for it, and that's what I really wanted to see. Because I think that's there's some creativity to that. I don't know, man. You really you just need to be able to do something that's engaging but doesn't feel like it's desperate at all.
Yeah.
Right.
It does feel like a lot of this stuff is it's meant, that's why the Marvel movies aren't working anymore. It's just meant to get an audience and make money.
Right, yeah.
Kind of what it is.
It's soulless in a way, yeah. And so they kind of lost the plot there, which is, it sucks for audiences. Bad news for Marvel. Terrible news for Warner Brothers, because they're just finally doubling down, be like, we're gonna get this right, and then the rest of the world's like, oh, sorry, we're over it.
Right.
Yeah. So thanks for the late attempt.
Renfield was written by my buddy Ryan Ridley, and there is an interesting thing within that, which I'm gonna try and get him. It was interesting to me that it was such a good idea. I think it was really funny. And then it went up against Super Mario Brothers and it was gone. So then again, the Warner Brothers DC universe is now stuck, or the Monster universe or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they keep canon movies too that are already made. Acme versus Coyote, or Coyote versus Acme, that's canned. Salem's Lot, which was shot, done, and
Really?
Stephen King considers. Yeah, Stephen King said he saw it, and it's one of the best movies based off his intellectual property he has ever seen. That's canned, never see the light of day.
No. Salem's Lot's going to drop on streaming.
Okay, they are. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he put up a good enough fight because it looked like that, and of course, Batgirl. So these big, expensive projects that Warner Brothers just getting that tax write-off on.
And they're scared. I'm sure they're scared to I'm sure they're just scared to sort of see these things fail. And it costs a lot of money to put movies in the theater. So you really got to be and you got to give the theater half of all the proceeds.
Right.
Oh,
Theaters need this stuff too, though. So, whenever they can a movie for a tax write-off, then, that affects AMC, Harkins, all those chains, because it's hey, yeah, maybe it would have sucked, but still would have had half of a filled theater is better than an empty theater, right?
Right.
You would think, unless, I don't know.
It was just so strange to hear the excitement about Dune saving the cinema. Basically
they say that every 6 months.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
But post-pandemic, people having their home streaming preferences, it is good to see a movie that comes out that kind of unifies and gets everybody going to the theater again. Even if it's on repeat.
Good?
I liked it. I mean, it's not for everybody,
Well, you're a fanatic, Herb. You loved the first one. You saw the original, and you read the book several times over.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think of Dune 2?
I like it. I was pleased with it. I mean, certainly Denis made some changes, but they were changes. That's all the fan groups that are out there, they're complaining about some of the changes he made.
Right.
And it's here's the thing. You just got to think about it. A book is a book, movie's a movie, right? You're never going to get, there's people that hate the Lord of the Rings, movies because they love the books. I'm I love the Lord of the Rings movies and I've read the books. They're a different thing,
Yeah.
So no, I liked it. I was happy with it. I'm excited for the third one that he's going to make. I hope he takes a break, and they need to age a little bit up, but yeah.
It was sheer spectacle. I think that was the greatest thing about it. It was literally there to blow your mind. You feel your seat shaking in the theater.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Did you watch it? Did you like it, TJ?
I haven't seen it yet, but you guys watch it, and golly, I was going to make fun of you. I was going to make fun of you for being a bad AI generator, but this is all I got.
Man.
That's not even you, bro.
Do you have eyebrows in that
let's
one?
see.
No
Hold it up
eyebrows?
to the screen again. Yeah, that's not.
I saw that guy in Mesa yesterday selling.
That's the like broke British you. That's the
British TJ.
Why'd they put your eyes so close together?
Weird.
Why? Who
Hey,
is
boys.
this?
It looks like a
not
Jew.
Did you
know
type
who-
in your name or
maybe I
did you
need
use
to
an
say
image reference?
comedian TJ Miller.
There you go.
yeah, not
the
car
lumberjack.
mechanic TJ Miller.
Car
Oklahoma.
mechanic is real. This looks like car mechanic TJ Miller. All
Merry
right,
Christmas.
Rico,
We actually are
I'm,
fucked.
I'm sorry I was a jerk about that, I think.
Yeah, see, I told you he's the best. He's the best.
We got Robert Redford with licorice eyebrows. You're welcome. It's the best I could do.
Seriously,
Yeah,
look
look
like
at this.
Play-Doh.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Let's go full screen again there. Yeah.
That does look like a British sitcom from 1995.
It does. Dude.
Looks like
Wow.
you and Jonah Hill had a love child.
No.
You know what?
You hear the
Watch
saxophone
this.
music on that.
I'm just going to do this. Let's just try. I'm just going to try comedian TJ Miller.
There you go.
Let's see
We'll have
if
an
they
AI
can-
off.
We're gonna be back
Let's
on
hack,
here
bro.
in about 16 seconds as well.
We're hacking right now.
So I'll reset.
We had AI
the
generate
planet.
the look of these characters in the Santa Claus movie, and it was amazing. I mean, it was the most amazing. And then we started having fun with it. In fact, I'll show you some of those, but then I got to go because I've got. Look at this.
Sounds good. All right, let's go 2.1 KFMA. TJ Miller is trying to out AI Rico, failing
What's
miserably.
going on with that raccoon eye?
Oh,
Man, you put in comedian. I don't think they
I can
nailed
see
it.
it.
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, see. So
Well,
I-
we had. Let me show you.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you had
that's the
AI
best
come
one.
up with images, basically almost like a casting the movie that you're working on. It's a Santa Claus themed movie that is in the works, and so yeah, what do these characters look like? Are they like out of control, like outlandish characters, or so good that you're like, we need to cast people that look exactly like this?
So we were having fun. We were trying to decide. We got great pictures about, like, we just asked for like seal creatures from another planet.
Okay,
Fabulous.
that's a good looking seal. That's a good looking seal.
Like kind of almost alien seals, because
Yeah,
there
that's
we go.
Kate actually
Yeah.
came up with it. But we just like the look of these because they're so otherworldly. We love this.
Yeah.
Galactic seals.
Yeah, that's your next Marvel
Ooh.
supervillain.
Right.
There you go. And then, so then we were like, what about these seals with? And this one's great too.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. What'll work with this? Hold on, I think this. And then we were like, all right, these seal.
It's a red flag if a
creatures-
girl has that as her background on her phone.
These seal
Yeah.
creatures, we were like, what if they're eating fried chicken?
Because who doesn't like that?
Seals in Santa hats
Damn, the
eating fried
hands.
chicken.
The hands are
Yeah,
creepy.
that's right. And then we put, what about if they were in like Santa Claus thing? And then we were like, what if they were eating fried chicken? And this was all because Santa Claus in Japan, Rico, you should know this. In Japan, on Christmas, they eat fried chicken. They eat KFC fried chicken.
Yes.
It's like a huge
Oh.
tradition. So then we were like, what about them eating it with Santa Claus?
This better be in the movie, bro.
And
It's gotta
then,
be a
It's gotta
fever dream
be
or
in
something.
it, yeah.
and then we said it again. And then this time he's like really scared.
With the red-eyed seal.
Oh,
It's because the
My
seal
God.
realized that he wasn't eating chicken; he was
This-
eating deep fried seal.
You guys, this, I got to do this and go. This
Okay.
was so funny and so terrifying to us for so many reasons. It's funny and terrifying. Okay.
I like it.
Oh God!
But
You
look
walk
at
into that
his
room.
look at his eyes.
Oh,
They're
completely
all
white.
whited out. Wow.
No
Possessed
pupils.
Santa
oh.
eating
Look at-
fried chicken with
Look
seals.
at that guy who sees us and is going to kill us.
Yeah, right?
And
That is
stab the
terrifying.
chicken bone.
Who's this little guy?
Are you sure you don't want to make a scary
Just-
movie now?
just-
Ah, it's a sticker. No, it's a sticker.
What have we
Thanks,
done?
guys? I love you so much. It was so good. Nice to meet you, Herb. And
Hey, nice to meet
yeah,
you.
Smooth Peanut Butter, the album has dropped. You can stream it anywhere: Apple, Amazon, Spotify, SiriusXM. It's spinning. But please download it, listen to it, have fun with it. You can buy my peanut butter on Amazon.com. I have a full line of peanut butter. It's delicious. I think these guys will maybe put a link to it. I also have my own hot sauce. And subscribe to my YouTube channel to watch Dear Jonah, my stand-up special. A couple other completely improvised specials there. And thank you. This is my last interview of the radio tour. This is my
nice.
Wow.
6th radio show since Monday. And
wow, yeah.
we loved it. By far the best.
And maybe we'll get you here in October. We'll get you here in October, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would love that for sure. I'll come into the studio. And you got to understand how much fun I had, because after all that radio, I've been talking for an hour and 51 minutes. And the only reason I'm getting off, well, there's 2 reasons I'm getting off. I'm getting off because I have a call right now. And then the other reason is Weirdo hasn't been allowed to talk because Nico won't shut up.
That was TJ Miller, everybody. We're going to keep, we got Herb Strattford coming up after these words. So it's a movie review. Stick around. It's Rock 102.1. Yeah, and then so we're still recording this, and so we did Audible.
That's
so the
hilarious.
idea was we got on with TJ at 8:30.
Yeah.
Right. So and he wasn't kidding on this. And so we had maybe like 10-20 minutes, but this is what happens when we do interviews. And this happens every time, does it not?
Mhm.
And it's been happening for a long time.
It's been like
It's
a
trend.
point of pride for us, actually, because we do make them feel so comfortable that we get that you have 10 minutes, hard out, everything else, and then we end up talking to people for over an hour.
Yeah. So here's the deal, Herb, and welcome back. And
Yes.
I didn't mean for him to impede on your time, but we are recording 2 shows in one. So if you have a couple minutes too, I want to record a segment for Friday.
Sure.
And so we have that. And this whole podcast, because I tried to go live halfway through and it didn't work. People are commenting, but they can't see. So I'm going to do a special 2-hour podcast tomorrow for the streamers and with TJ, dominating the conversation and talking a lot of stuff, and went back and forth. And, it's great.
I'm just excited to tell my kids. I got to talk to Tough Nut from How to Train Your Dragon.
Wow.
They're going to be so excited.
It was also interesting in the notes too.
God.
So like, obviously we don't need to talk about any of the controversy or the nonsense and stuff like that. And you didn't get to,
Right.
but in the notes. So they do say from the publicist, avoid any of that, like Deadpool controversy, any of that, even though we did talk about,
We tiptoed.
Deadpool. And they said, lastly, TJ is a talker. So if you can make it a point to wrap things up with him in an interview, it would be greatly. But that's
absolutely not.
But there's a
You're
reason
talking.
why. No, but Alan is so great. This publicist that I work with, he knows how we do things. So I made sure that I'm in the window where I don't have to do a tight 10 and say, no, we're more conversationalists. So, that's why we're at very last. And he could have, after all this, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, New York time. So 6 o'clock our time, right? He could have been like, guys, I'm exhausted. I'll give you 15. I'll give you 20.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
He goes an hour and a half.
You wanted to go out strong on the last one.
Yeah,
for him.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, and
That's awesome.
in the last couple of days, I've been pulling up some of these radio interviews, and the best that you're going to get from these stations is like a still photo, and then the little sound wave line, and then the 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Where it's like, he's right. We have a full podcast. He's bringing up clips, everything else.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to go.
We know what we're doing.
Right. All right. So we're gonna do.
You better have that look in the movie too.
Yeah.
Well, now that
Yes.
you've given it to him,
Right?
He was taking pictures.
Yes,
so
I know.
That's good.
So funny.
All right. Let's see. We got 8 o'clock. Boom, boom, boom. And then you got a little time afterwards, weirdo. So we could do.
Mhm.
Okay, good. Because we got to punch in what we're missing. All right. Here. I gotta stop that too.
And welcome back, Herb. We've missed you, man.
Yeah.
I love you,
Thank
dude.
you very much. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Gonna ask him.
I miss being here. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to be back.
And you look good. And you feeling good too?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Okay. All right. Well, let's. Is
Is there any news on the challenge?
Hold on. No, not really. Damn it. Yeah.
Well, it ended. I
Yeah,
mean, now we're waiting for the next All Stars.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. And it wouldn't be Friday without checking in with our good friend Herb Strattford, film critic extraordinaire. And it's been a while, Herb, but
It
welcome
has.
back to the show.
Yeah.
It has.
I know you've been still, watching stuff. all the way through your sabbatical, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I had another obligation I had to do on Thursday mornings and Friday mornings, and so I wasn't able to join. But I've been keeping up on everything. So. And there's been a lot. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff. I mean, not only Dune, but just all kinds of stuff happened.
And awards and everything. Yep. Well, going into this St. Patrick's Day weekend, what's the top movie that you're most excited about?
Well, there's not a lot of stuff hitting theaters. There is one really amazing sort of Holocaust story. I know that sounds like a bummer, but it's just a really, really great film. This is the 30th anniversary of Schindler's List, right?
Oh, okay.
So, a lot of people are thinking about that. But there's another story that people didn't know about. And it's about a guy named Nick Winton, who was a English London broker who actually during the Holocaust, he arranged train trips to get children out of Poland before the Nazis invaded Poland.
Right.
He saved over 600 kids this way. And this is, you may have seen the meme or seen the thing that pops up on Facebook all the time recently, where it's this older gentleman and he's sitting in an audience, and the host of this show says, "Hey, if anybody here in the audience has been affected by Nick, please stand up." And the whole audience stands up. Because he basically saved all these kids' lives.
Oh, wow.
And
it's an amazing story.
It really is. Yeah. And so this is Anthony Hopkins plays this guy, and it goes between, flashbacks to when it happened to when this sort of television thing is happening. And it's just an amazing story. I mean, it's hard to believe that there's still stories like this that we haven't heard. And I mean, they say at the end, there's a little postscript and it says there's 6,000 people alive because of him.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible.
It's
an incredible story.
Right. Because he took the risk because it was because I remember it just because I love British history and all that, and the intricacies of what he had to do and the network he had to get together to get these kids out.
And it was so dangerous.
Get placed with other British families.
Yeah.
And there was and Britain didn't want to help at first,
which
was
made it
crazy.
Very difficult. They made fees and permits and host families, and then he prevailed. And it's a really fascinating story because in hindsight, he was the only guy on the right side. You know what I mean? Like all these people making it difficult. It's like, really?
Yeah. History's not going to look well on you.
Anthony Hopkins plays him or Kent? Because Anthony Hopkins is so old, right?
Yeah,
so
he plays the current one, right? He plays the guy when this happened. And I don't know, do you remember, Weirdo? The clip was from the 80s.
88, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was on a British.
It
was a British version of an Oprah type show.
I know exactly what you're talking about now. I definitely recall that. Yeah, that's amazing. And what a beautiful way to kind of be celebrated for that heroic act. So
and he was very humble about it. He found a scrapbook, and that sort of reminded him of it. And he wasn't out there looking for attention, sort of like Schindler wasn't. The Schindler's List thing. One of the Schindler Jews actually approached the screenwriter and said, "You should tell this story." I mean, it wasn't like anybody was out like a publicist trying to tell anybody. So it's a great story. So that's in theaters, and then there's things they're streaming this weekend. Certainly. Manhunt, which is the new series on Apple TV about the hunt for John Wilkes Booth after he assassinated Abraham Lincoln.
It's a short series.
Great series.
Short series. Well, we're going to get to the streaming here in a 9 o'clock hour because there obviously are great things to be excited about coming to your streaming services, so you don't even have to leave your couch. We'll have more with Herb Strattford on the show, so stick around. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Your Florida Man's Story of the Week is coming up next. I'll be Vegan Presents, so don't go away. And I'll plug that in a little bit later, but we'll record another segment. So we're going to get live on the air, do a little beef tip, wrap things up. And then you got 10 minutes so we can record another segment.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We can do 10.
Sweet.
Right. Yeah. And I just checked it. I was right. 1988.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love fact checking myself.
It sounded right though.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't 90s, but it felt like it wasn't early 80s. Yep.
Yeah.
That middle ground spot.
Yep.
I'm just judging by the hostess's hair.
Yep.
That's really where I took it from.
The frizzles.
And by the way, Rico, thank you for the Critics' Choice poster.
Yes. I was hoping you got that.
Yeah. You got that? Hold on. Let's see. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're wrapping up the show, but obviously we did not get to do a podcast broadcast today because we started recording it and then we tried to go live. TJ, obviously, we had scheduled 15 minutes with him. We ended up talking with him for about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a special supersized podcast broadcast tomorrow for everybody to not only, watch and hang out in the conversation that you missed when we were talking not on the air, but you'll be able to comment along as we do that. And it was a very good conversation.
I mean, it's my fault. I would not shut up.
You were.
It was all my bad.
Chatty Cathy.
That is true. Chatty Cathy for sure. And real quick, I know that Rico made a poster for you, the film critic movie poster. Herb, you have that framed and hung up?
It's in my
garage.
in my studio.
It's in the back shed.
Yep.
It's in my studio. I haven't framed it yet, but it is in the studio. My wife goes, "That doesn't look like you."
What? That absolutely
your shoulders. I gave you like a buff stature.
So good.
It looks like a better looking you.
It's the neck. I get a long neck.
The neck.
That's the movie star version of you, right, dude? You know, so
you stick your neck. It's
the
thematic.
camera
You
adds
stick your neck
4
out.
inches to your neck.
True.
That's all.
That is true. How many cameras were on me?
Panasonic. There was...
Oh, you know, that poster still looks better than TJ Miller's AI photoshopping skills.
That
so,
is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Well, that's all the time we have for the show today. But I'd like to thank everyone for listening. And happy Pie Day. So my beef tip to you is if you're going to get a $3 pie, so just remember you get what you pay for, but be patient. Don't be a dick to where you think you're going to get that $3 pie in 15 minutes or less, or 30 minutes or less, or even an hour or less in some places.
No, go get in line now.
Yeah, so order ahead to get that deal of the year. It's March 14th, Pie Day. So that is your beef tip. Robin Nash is up next with another keyword for you to text in so you can win $2,024. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning with a supersized show. So join us then. Until then, drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish upon a side of beef, soon will come and end to all your grief.
Babuski.
But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all